Hello and welcome to the exciting world of video games. My name's Toe Freak, though some of you know me as Ian. I do prefer the former. I'm sure many of you will find yourself familiar with what I'm going to talk about, but a decent percentage of you have never truly took in what I'm going to discuss here. Video games have come a long way from the basic side-scrollers and arena shooters of the 70s and 80s, from the ever-so-popular Halo franchise to games like Mass Effect. The advancement of video game tech is seen everywhere. Most modern games, especially shooters, are more reminiscent to simulations than actual games. It is advancements like these that allow modern video games to appeal closer to our senses and perception. Video games have always appealed towards two senses, sight and hearing.
The flood. It's spreading all over the city.
However, more recently, a third player has joined. This is the sense of touch. Some people may be wondering how touch does come into play. The most obvious is, of course, the vibrating controllers featured in most consoles these days. This function allows players to be taken further into the world they are now a part of, making it feel as though actions towards the character are actions towards the player, him or herself. The best example would probably be Halo. The Xbox controllers will, if the setting is on, vibrate to various degrees if a player is shot, is shooting, gets meleeed, or some other similar action. However, beyond this simple function, there is little more use of this sense. The utilization of the human sense of sight is the most obvious in video games. Perspectives, colors, in-game HUDs, the list goes on and on. The uses of sight are limitless, and with new advances in graphics, sight can truly be utilized. The most obvious way our sense of sight is used is with colors. Various games will use colors to indicate a variety of things. In Halo, areas with heavier shades tend to be better hiding spots. In games like Mirror's Edge, color is used to indicate a sense of openness and freedom, but also tells a player where to go. See how the cable the character is sliding on turns red, indicating the optimal path to follow. However, in most games, red is actually utilized as a warning system. When a character takes too much damage in, say, a game like Halo, the shield bars will start blinking red. In games like Mass Effect, the screen will actually be flooded with the color red to indicate the character is almost dead. Color is also utilized in games to create certain moods. In the game Gears of War, heavily desaturated colors create this feeling of hopelessness and constant fear that characters must live in. In certain levels of Halo, lighting will be adjusted higher or lower to create a more upbeat attitude or a feeling of enclosure and helplessness. Most games also feature an in-game heads-up display, or HUD. HUDs serve various purposes, though they usually indicate various stats for a character, locations of objectives, or even damage received. These HUDs also serve another purpose, to reduce simulation sickness. Simulation sickness is something like motion sickness, but achieved from playing games, most often first-person shooters, for extended periods of time. Mirror's Edge features an almost unnoticeable HUD, save a small crosshair at the center of the screen to reduce simulation sickness. Another sense utilized in games, arguably more so than sight, is hearing. In the past, sound was simply music overlays or basic sound effects. No real sense of depth was ever achieved. In more modern games, game creators create different sounds for various objects at various distances. Halo 3 utilizes this quite well. Each weapon, each object has a separate sound for close-up, medium, or long distances. This helps create a sense of depth within the game. Sounds are also used as audio warnings. Going back to various sounds for objects at distances, game creators also make sound effects for objects like bullets as they may pass by or even through a character. In many games, if too many bullets or too much damage is taken, an audio warning, such as an alarm or heartbeat, is triggered. This, along with the aforementioned visual warning, really hammers home to the player that this character is about to die. I also mentioned the use of music in games. In games, much like in movies, music tracks are used to set a certain mood for a level or area. Music has always been used to invoke emotions. Take this clip from Halo 3 gameplay. A creepy music is overlaid to bring about the fear of the flood within the player. Another example could be the scene from Mass Effect. See how the main character is walking through the halls of this ship, as the ship itself is heading towards some great object known as a mass relay.
Connected. Calculating transit mass and destination. Relay is hot, acquiring approach vector. All stations secure for transit.
When the ship finally hits this place and the character is revealed, the music builds up and up to create this sense of awe and amazement within the player, much like in a movie.
Relay in 3, 2, 1.
In older games, music was just used to fill in the silence in areas that required dialogue. Modern games have actual dialogue, which is often used to point out objectives, move along the game, and help set a certain mood.
Chief? Good. This channel is secure. My fire teams are spread thin. We can't hold out forever. I need that hangar cleared for evac ASAP.
However, sometimes game creators will just add something silly for no reason at all.
What's the password?
Password? Oh man, I forgot.
Forgot what?
I forgot the password.
See, that was almost right. See, the password begins with I forgot, but ends differently. Try again.
No, I mean I forgot the password.
Okay, see, you got it wrong again. See, you said the same thing as last time.
Well, I hope this demonstration hasn't bored you too much. From basic vibrating controllers to elaborate ways of moving a game along, both through audios and visuals, you can easily see how sense and perception have become major players in the video game industry.